Welcome to the Selling Show, where we unpack, repack, and break down exactly how top experts sell their ideas, their value, and their services. This is your host, David Newman, and you are in the right place if you want better clients, bigger deals, and higher fees. Amy Yamada of amyyamada.com. So great to have you on the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, David. I'm thrilled to be here with you.
So tell us the Amy Yamada story. What is it that brought you to the work that you're doing today? And give us some of the interesting pit stops along the way as well.
Gosh, how much time do we have?
Endless time.
It's so interesting that you bring this up, because just the other night I was talking to one of my dear friends, Roxana, who I've known for over 20 years. And we met back in the day in the corporate world working for a company that owned 5 radio stations here in Seattle. And so we're in the wonderful world of radio. And we were talking about our first jobs in radio. And as we were sharing our stories of even how we landed our jobs in our early 20s, we both realized some things about ourselves. And a pattern that I've noticed within myself is that I am driven by fun and joy and connecting with awesome people. And so even when I look back at my journey as an entrepreneur, once I decided to leave the corporate world and go off my own, it really came down to, I believe I have a deeper calling and I want to make a bigger impact in my life. And also I want it to be fun. I want it to be fun. I want to connect with awesome people. I want to see how I can serve them. And so it wasn't as if I had it all figured out when I first launched my business. I mean, who does? I still don't have it all figured out. But what I knew for sure is that I wanted to go off my own. I wanted to create life on my own terms. And I wanted to create something that was fun and exciting and adventurous so that I could really live a full life on my terms. So it was just really fun the other day to have this conversation going back in time to recognizing the points in my journey where I thought I should be doing things a certain way. And I should follow these steps and be who I'm supposed to be. But it's whenever I have come back to myself and said, well, what do I really want? What's authentically me that I have put something out into the world and has just taken off. And so I've noticed this pattern in my life.
Very fun. Well, tell me about when you first left the corporate world. Did you know that you wanted to go into coaching, or tell me what the first iteration of the business looked like?
I did. Initially, at the very beginning, I didn't know. At the very beginning, I just knew that I wanted to have my own business. And I knew that I wanted to become my own boss. When you work in the media, at least when I worked in the media, when you're in it long enough, the competitors come around when you have a good reputation. They say, hey, let's grab coffee. And they try to have you come over to them. And the last time that happened, this woman and I were talking, and I said, you know what? I appreciate you thinking of me for this opportunity. And it sounds great. And I also know that my next step is not going to be working for somebody. I really recognize that in this moment. I know that ultimately I'm going to be stepping out into going off my own. But I didn't know what it looked like. All I knew was that I wanted to have my own business and I wanted to be my own boss. And I never wanted to fill out a vacation request form ever again. So being that I was so open to ideas, as I shared with my inner circle about it, of course, I had all ththese ideas coming at me like, oh, you could launch your own advertising agency or marketing firm. That's your background. Or you could become an event planner because you've been involved in events in the media. And so I just swirled for a bit. But once I started working with my own coach, and then she invited me to an event with her mentor, who's another fabulous David Nagel. I went to his event back in 2012. It was called the Break Free Live Experience, a 3-day experience. And my mind completely opened up. And I realized, wow, there are other people just like me that geek out on personal development, about creating a life on your own terms, that are doing things that are outside of go to college, get a job, get your 401k. There's this whole world of people that are just like me that want to do something different. That really was a game changer. I thought, wow, I really love this coaching space and mentoring space. And so that's when I knew for sure that I wanted to become a coach.
There you go. And then tell me a little bit about the transition from 100% Amy to, team and company, and moving from I'm an awesome coach to I'm an awesome coach, an awesome CEO of a coaching company. How is that evolution as an entrepreneur from coach to CEO that now runs a nice size empire?
Yeah, it's funny when I think about it now, looking back. I didn't know that I wanted to have a real company. Initially, I thought, well, this solo entrepreneur thing sounds great. My initial thought was I want to be able to travel and work from anywhere and have this freedom and be with my laptop and do my thing. But that got old after a while because I was alone and I didn't want to be alone. I wanted to be with people. And I remember the first time I hired an assistant to help me with one project. And I loved it. I loved being able to have someone by my side to bounce ideas off of and to have her take over some of the implementation of it. However, once I brought her on longer term, initially I struggled with letting go of control. I really did. I thought, well, I want it done this way. And what if she doesn't do this way? So there's a lot of growth. Now it's completely different. It's evolved. I've got a full team. And now I say, this is the vision. I delegate it to a project manager, she's like my right hand. And then she delegates it. And I hire people that are better than me in these different areas of business. And I think this is what can happen with a solo entrepreneur is that they can get to a point of burnout. And then they realize like, oh, this is not the way to go. So it was definitely hiring one person at a time. So anytime I started to feel stretched in one area of my business, okay, it's time to hire. It's time to find the right person who's better than me in that area and can really take ownership of it and be on a mission with me. And so I really love my team. They're incredible people. And even though we don't all live in the same place, there's only 2 other people that live here in the Seattle area, but I feel very close with them. And we have met up in person when I was hosting bigger events, and it's just been great.
So I love my team most days, most of the time. I'm going to be honest. Some days this kind of push pull, because when you're alone, it's like, okay, it's 100% my way. And of course, we have all these limiting beliefs, right? That like, oh, I'm the only person that can do this right. If you want to do it right, do it yourself. You hire someone, it takes too much time. Now we're managing people. I didn't start my entrepreneurial career to manage people. And even though over time, I have tamed that monster, probably 90%, 92%, there's still that 8 to 10% where literally some days, some team members, I'm just like rubbing my forehead going, what is the matter with you? Now, luckily, because as good leaders, and by the way, none of them listen to this show. So too bad, team. Sorry.
Really?
None of them listen to this show. None of them. It's like, did you hear that podcast with Amy? No, we never listened to your show, David. Sorry. Because they're too busy working. But I try not to let it show. Yeah. But as we become better leaders, as we become more higher evolved human beings in this leadership mode, you realize, well, gosh, they're fallible too, right? They're not perfect. They're not machines. We don't hire machines. We hire people. And they need coaching, and they need love, and they need structure, and they need feedback, and they need guidance. They need appreciation. Tell us a little bit, and this is just therapy for me.
I love it.
But I'm sure every entrepreneur, every expert, speaker, coach, trainer listening is like, yes, this is what I needed to hear from Amy. How did your leadership skills evolve as your business also evolved?
Oh my gosh. It's a continuous journey for sure. One thing that I've noticed is that if I'm on a team meeting and somebody seems a little bit off, then I'll send them a quick note afterwards and just say, if it were you, I'd say, hey, David, is everything okay? Seemed a little off your normal, usual, fabulous, joyous self. Is everything okay? And usually what I found is that there's usually something that has come up for them, whether they're feeling overwhelmed or something in life has happened. So I remind them to ask for support from the team if they're not at full capacity, that they don't have the 100% ability to do what they know to do. I've found that it has created an atmosphere where they feel safe to share if something's going on without abusing that, of course. But that's been a way that has helped me up-level my own leadership and also practice asking for support myself.
Well, sometimes when I have the occasional off day and it somehow comes across, even though we try not to let it come across, I will have some of my team send me that kind of message going, hey, David, are you okay? You seem a little bit down in our meeting. Just wanted to check in. Again, just the same kind of thing that you're talking about where it's like, it may be just me misreading things, but are you okay? And it's almost always like, well, I'm really frustrated by this. And our Facebook ads guy did that. And I'm really, preoccupied with this thing. And so they're good at picking up on when we are off our game too, right?
So true. Absolutely.
Hey, if you're loving this episode as much as I am, pop over to doitmarketing.com/manifesto and get your free 37-page download guide to how to sell smarter, sell more easily, sell more often. That's what we're here to help you with at The Selling Show. Off you go. let's roll up our sleeves, because I know the new thing that is so exciting and so gratifying is helping so many of your clients is VIP days. And this new VIP day system, methodology, training, tool set that you have. For people that do not know or have not heard this term VIP day, let's take this back to like square zero. Amy Yamada, what is a VIP day? And then let's talk about how experts and coaches and consultants can start to think about adding a VIP day income stream to their world. But first, what is it? How does it work?
Yeah, great question. A VIP day is a one-day intensive that you can have either one-on-one with a client, or it can be in a small group setting. And when I say small group, I would say up to 5 people. Usually 3 to 5 people is ideal for a small group VIP day. What I see as part of the VIP day experience is that it's an opportunity, especially if you are an established coach, consultant, like you were saying, mentor, influencer, where you know that you have an existing audience that wants access to you, and you don't just provide it freely, or maybe you don't have one-on-one ongoing coaching or consulting or mentoring. Maybe you do, but where you have this opportunity to work with someone for one full day and accelerate their process. You're compressing time. So if you were to think about your best client, your dreamiest client, I like to think about who's one person that comes to your heart and mind that is your dreamiest client. And then imagining what would it look like to spend one full day with them? What do you see possible if you got to really go deep with them on where they are now, where they want to go, and how you can help them get there? And it's just a really beautiful way to go deep and make some magic happen in an accelerated way.
Now, let's talk about the VIP day. A lot of people think, oh, okay, so I'm going to sit down with one person, I'm going to get a flip chart or a slide deck, and I'm going to be teaching and talking to them all day long, and it's a one-person seminar. Let's bust that out. Who does most of the talking? Is there a quote-unquote curriculum, or is it more of a facilitated dialogue? Who sets the agenda? When do we set the agenda? Clear that up for us.
Yeah, great question. I mean, everyone's different for sure. But what I've noticed with myself and my clients and colleagues who I've taught my system to, it really is about it being a customized experience for your dreamiest client. VIP days are not for everyone. They are for the cream of the crop, the best of the best, the person who is an action taker who wants to have this transformational experience. And whether you're a business coach or a consultant, or in my case, my audience has all different types of coaches and mentors. So some of them are in high performance. Some of them are in relationships, and some of them are in spirituality and connecting with self and figuring out your purpose. Some of them are in health and wellness, but it's really for a one-on-one experience. And what I've found in customizing it, that's the beauty of it. It's not your online course where you're going through your presentation. I mean, who really wants that in a one-on-one time? With my best coach, I wouldn't want that. What I've found is that people want access to you. They want you to see them. They want validation from you. And so what I have found has been really powerful, and one of the most important things that I teach inside my VIP day system is once you've enrolled someone to book a VIP day with you, then I always like to schedule an intention setting call, call it a prep call, within 1 week prior to your VIP day. And the reason why is that unless it's coming up within the next week, things may shift within 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. It might be a month from now. And for me, having that time with them within a few days leading up to it, I'll say to them on that call, it could be a 20-minute call. I'll say, okay, David, from today's vantage point, when you think about our VIP day together, what do you want to get out of it? Has anything shifted since the last time we chatted? And I take notes on what they say. And it's an opportunity to really listen to what they want, because it's not about me and my agenda, my curriculum. It's about what they want, and then customizing the day to them.
Yeah.
And that way I can take notes, and then I bring those notes to the VIP day. Those notes define the agenda, if you will.
Totally beautiful.
Yeah.
People listening, and again, we have all kinds of folks listening, seasoned, intermediate, advanced, maybe some early on in their career. They're saying, Amy, this sounds like a great idea. So I charge like what, $1,500 or $2,000, or how much should a day with me cost? let's clear this up because I think people undercharge. They undercharge for everything. Your clients undercharge for everything until they meet you. My clients undercharge for everything until they meet me. What's your advice on a serious, professional, credible VIP day investment range?
I'd say 10,000 plus. And the reason being is that, especially if you're a seasoned person, and when I say seasoned, I mean, think about it this way. What has it taken for you? And this is for you and also the audience, what has it taken for you to be able to offer what you now offer? So something that I have my clients do is I have them make what I call a powerhouse list. What makes you a powerhouse? So make a list of everything that you yourself have invested in, what you have learned. You can also include personal life experiences, awakening experiences, like all the things that have contributed to where you are now. So if you make a list of all these things, just bullet point them out. So I would put all the coaching and mentoring I myself have invested in, my college degree. I would think about what are all the things. I would think about my most life awakening experience was over a decade ago when I lost my wonderful mother, and what that opened up for me in terms of, wow, like life is so precious and we're not here forever. So there's things I want to do. I learned so much from that one profound experience in my life. So I make a list of all these things. And then next to each line item, what was the monetary value of that experience, of what you learned? Whether it's the amount that you actually invested in the thing or what you would have paid to learn the lessons that you learned. And some of the things we wouldn't choose. I wouldn't choose for my mom to pass that early in life, but I don't get to choose that. But the lessons I learned were priceless. I learned so much. I would give anything to have her back here right now. But all that to say, whenever I've had people make this list and then put this monetary value next to it, add it all up, it's at least been in the hundreds of thousands, if not in the millions. And I'll never forget hosting an in-person mastermind and having one of my clients come up to me after she had written down front pages of all the things with tears streaming down her face because her number was in the millions. And she said to me, I have never felt more valuable in my life. I said, okay, now do you think you could charge $10,000 for a day with you? Because it's not an hourly thing. We're not breaking down how much you're making per hour. They are getting access to your wisdom, to your, like, everything that you have created up until this point, all your life experiences, your education, your training, your mentoring, your therapy, whatever you've done to be you. And they don't need to live your whole life and experience all of that and do all the things, but they have this direct line to you, which is really powerful. Now, of course, I have clients and colleagues and friends who are like, maybe, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I didn't start at 10,000. I started with who's going to invest anything for a day. But the first time I charged higher ticket, it was 5,000. And even then it was a stretch for me in my mind. I thought, who's going to pay this? How am I going to find these people? All the limiting beliefs that come up. But I just decided to go for it anyway. So if you're not quite ready for charging 10,000, then ask yourself, like I would ask you the question, what would feel a little bit out of your comfort zone, but something that you can wrap your head around? Yes. And usually they can come up with a number like, oh, maybe 3,500 or 5,000. Like, okay. Then the next step is when you're on a call with someone, you're about to make an offer. Here's how I say it. Here's what I recommend. Say the standard rate for this VIP day is $10,000. And as a newly designed package for the first two people that step in, I'm offering it for $5,000. How does it sound to you? And that way you're practicing saying it out loud and your subconscious mind is hearing you say it as fact. So you're getting more comfortable on the inside of saying it's a $10,000 VIP day.
Nice. That's tremendous. So folks that have clients, they have past clients, they have prospects who have said no to other offers before. When we come up with this VIP day using your system, also, by the way, people need to know, full transparency, you and I worked privately on our VIP day offer. And I want to share some success stories, other success stories besides my own. I put this together. I sent it to you. We had a little back and forth. You said, take this out. There's too much crap in here, which is a common mistake that we'll talk about also. I said, okay, does this look good? You said, yes, it looks good. This was a very simple Google document. I mean, super simple, 2 pages. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking to someone on the phone, like within 24 hours of you and I working through this VIP day system that you have. And I said, I have an idea. I have an idea for you. Here's the deal. it's 12.5 this way or 15K this way. What do you think? Without hesitating a moment, she said, let's do the 15K. Sounds great. It's exactly what I'm looking for. And then I've had two more people on the line that we're still talking to. It's going to be probably another 30K coming in from that. And this is, let's be clear, this is an offer and this is money that I had zero basis for charging 24 hours before. So your system is so easy to implement, so powerful, so fast that people need to know this works and it works fast. But for the folks like, Amy, who do I sell this to? Talk about current clients buying it, which sometimes may be a surprise. Like, well, my current clients, they're already paying me for this. Why would they pay me for that? Past clients, prospects that said no to other things before. How else do you recommend that we put this out, or who else is a good candidate for this?
Absolutely. I like to start with my current clients first and think of it as I'm giving them first dibs. So for anyone who has worked with a great coach, maybe you're working with David. I mean, I always like to think about if my mentor was to have a VIP day offer, would I want to know about it first? Absolutely. I would hope that they would reach out to me first. In fact, I'd want the personalized attention. I would want my coach to see me and say, hey, Amy, I've got this opportunity. Here's what it is. I've got a few spots available. You're the first person that came to my heart and mind. What do you think? I would feel seen and heard, and someone who they saw as this is something that would make a difference for me. So I flip that around and think about, who do I already know that I believe that this opportunity would make the biggest difference for? And I start without even looking at all my stuff. I start with, I literally do like drop into my heart and just think about, who do I believe this would make a difference for? Honestly, whether or not they step in, whether or not they have the funds to do it, just get out of the weeds and just drop in. And there's always someone that comes to my heart and mind immediately. I'm like, okay, that's the first person I'm going to reach out to. I'm going to say, hey, so-and-so, I would text them even and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I've got this new opportunity to work together one-on-one for a full day. And when I thought about who I believed, it's just honest, right? It's honest. When I thought about who I believed it would make a difference for, you're the first person that came to my heart and mind. What are your thoughts? And then we jump on a call and then we talk about it. And then usually with that approach, whether they're in right away or in the near future, they're usually in because they feel so seen. I mean, it's meant for them. So I would start with your existing clients as an upsell into a VIP day. Then look at past rockstar clients. Maybe if you're like me, you stay in touch with some of them over the years or a year. I had one client that did a VIP day with me about 3 years ago and then came back to do another one with me. Well, she did a VIP day. Then she went into my year-long mastermind. And then she chose to move on after her year. We stayed in touch. And then she came back around for another one. And it just was epic to see this full circle experience. So start with current clients, then past rockstar clients, and then people you've been in touch with that you know are a great fit. And then say, hey, I've been thinking about you since our last conversation. So there is that personal touch that I think is so powerful.
And then the other thing, and I've gotten this response not from the VIP days, because thanks to you, VIP days are new for us, but for other offers, I've gone back to past people who have said no to certain things, presented them this new thing, and literally they're jumping up and down and they're saying, this is what I've been waiting for. This is exactly how I want to work with you. And if I hadn't crafted that other offer, they would have been like, no, I don't want to spend a year with you. I don't want to, I don't want to spend that level of money, whatever that is, 30K, 40K. I would love this kind of format with your personal attention on my big issues, my big challenges. So talk about that sort of, I've been waiting for Amy to offer a VIP day because everything else is either too much or too little, but this is the Goldilocks perfect thing.
Exactly. For so many, it is the perfect thing because not everyone wants to step into a year-long mastermind or a group program. Not everyone wants to be in a group setting right now. There's nothing wrong with your group program, my group program, or masterminds, but sometimes you have a client that's seeking, they still want what you have. They just want that direct access to you. They want to do it in a short amount of time. And that's why VIP days are a great way to do it. And they even say, like, this is so much more in alignment with me than stepping into a group program. And maybe they'll step in later, maybe they'll never step in. It's just about not being attached to that. And then the other element that I can't help but share, but I also like to bring the fun into it. I'm inspired by fun. And so even early this year, as I started to open up some more VIP opportunities, I thought, gosh, I've always wanted to bring my family and spend a few weeks in Hawaii versus going there for 5 or 7 days and having it be too short of a trip. And I thought, what if I offered a couple of destination VIP experiences in Hawaii? And so I came up with this idea. And in this case, it was a 2-day experience. Day 1 was the VIP day. Day 2 was a spa day for them. And then we'd have dinner on day 2. And I put together the details of it, the benefits of it, and created this package. And when I put it out there, it went like that. So part of it also is thinking about if you wanted to do a destination VIP day or experience, where would you want to go? Would you want to bring your family with you or friends with you? Or would it be a solo trip? And then pick a place that's beautiful and just put it out there. And it's just been so fun to share that with people too, as I've seen even one of our colleagues offer a small group VIP experience in Thailand. Another one decided that she wanted to go see the Devil Wears Prada in Chicago and stay at the Palmer. And she's like, ooh, I'm going to do a VIP day there. And she sold like that, 25 grand. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. You can do so many things with it. It's just so fun.
And your system, I mean, yes, the organic outreach and all of that, but even the organic outreach, you've got templates, you've got systems, you've got frameworks that people can do the organic outreach to their favorite people. But we're also talking about if you have an email list, no matter how large or how small, this can go out in an email. Obviously, your social media following. So you put this on Facebook, you put this on Instagram. The thing I love about your system, Amy, from a sales standpoint, is this is the opposite of a hard sell. This is very invitation, very relational. Talk about some of the things in the emails, in the social posts, all of the goodies that we know are in the system. How are we sort of inviting and enticing people versus kind of hard sell, disappearing soon. You have 37 seconds to buy. There's only one PDF left. There's no such thing as one PDF left. But talk about the kind of the flipping the script on the sales process for this kind of high level thing.
I love this. So part of it is think about if you want to be Tiffany's or Walmart, right? It's not about, I always like to think about when you walk into Tiffany's or if you walk into Jimmy Choo or if you walk into Tory, but if you walk into a high-end, beautiful boutique, what do you experience? Like what I experience is spaciousness, beauty, quality, customer service. They're focused on me. They know their product versus if I go into Target or Walmart or TJ Maxx, I have nothing against those places. It's just there's stuff everywhere. And, there's a long line of people and you've got a big cart of stuff. And so just with VIP days, it's not about cramming a bunch of stuff in it. This is what I see people do all the time, that they'll share with me what we call a confidence card, a VIP day confidence card. I'll say, create your confidence card. Here's the framework for it. And they'll show it to me. And I'm like, take out half of it. I do this with you, right? There's too much stuff in it. You don't need to do all that. And it'll have you feel more grounded and it'll show that level of confidence in you. And for the client, it's not a value. A lot of us, for those of you who are seasoned, you know what I'm talking about. It's a value stack. You get this. And here's the value of all these things. But no, wait, there's more. And it ends with a 9 or a 7. And it's just like, it's worth $1 million, but I'm selling to you for $19.99. Right. Like, let's just take a breath and say, this is your highest tier one-on-one, one-day experience. We don't need to cram all the stuff into it. So it's about really being clear on that. From a sales standpoint, it shows confidence and value. From a marketing and promotional standpoint, years ago, I was in this mastermind and there was a group of us all wanting to sell these high ticket VIP days. And we're thinking about how can I promote this to my audience and get a response? And every single one, like, how are you doing? We're all sending emails to our list, getting crickets. It didn't matter how good we were at copywriting. No one was writing back until I cracked the code. The difference was reminding myself that, okay, have you ever heard this phrase? David, I'm a visual person. Doesn't everyone say that? Isn't everyone visual?
Totally. Oh, yes.
So especially whether you're hosting it in your hometown, in your home, or in a beautiful destination, this is like a golden tip, include an image of where you will be if it's in person. The most beautiful image. Maybe you don't know exactly where you're going to host it. Pick a beautiful image of the city in which you live. We're visual. And so when we see that, just like when I travel, the first thing I want to do is look at where am I going? I'll scroll through Airbnb images, or I'll scroll through the place that I want to visit and look at the images. We're drawn to that. So I would say that one of the things that I I learned to crack the code. And that's why I created a framework and swipe files around this, is that when I send out my VIP day and destination VIP experience, I even hosted a small group VIP cruise to the Bahamas this summer. So fun, the most fun ever. I include images, and then people see that and they're like, I want to go to the Bahamas. I want to go to Hawaii, or I want to, normally it's not as foggy out during a certain month of the year. I have photos of my home, which I dreamt of having this view. So I'll have an image of the view and sitting here and rolling up our sleeves. So it's about painting the picture of imagine us rolling up our sleeves, imagine us focusing on you, imagine this. And it's been pretty cool to get that response. And that way, people who are responding are those who are interested in your VIP day.
Wait. We're not just going to listen to this episode. There are downloads, there are resources, there are links, there are bonuses waiting for you on this episode's page when you go over to doitmarketing.com/podcast. That's right, doitmarketing.com/podcast. Grab the notes right under this episode. See you over there.
Now, talk a little bit about the one-on-one flavor of VIP Day versus the small group. If people are thinking of dipping their toe in, is it easier to start with small group because the price tag is a little bit lower? Or is it easier, hey, let's start off premium, start off selling the one-on-one?
I would sell the one-on-one. And the reason why is that it's, in my opinion, it's easier to focus on one person and also taking the pressure off of, I need to fill this small group day. The one thing that can be a challenge or a deal breaker for your potential clients for a small group is the date alone. So, and anyone who's hosted retreats, this. Even when I hosted my cruise, there were a lot of people who were very interested in going on this cruise to the Bahamas. Like, Amy, I'd give you my credit card right now, except I'm going to a wedding. It was in July. I'm going to a wedding. I've got my kids thing or a family vacation. And so, it was just a reminder to myself to plan these. If it's a group experience, plan it a little further out, give people time to be able to plan their travel. And especially if it's during a busier month, like the summer months, either don't do it during the summer months or just plan it further out so people have time to plan around the day.
Well, let me ask you about that, because I think people will be nervous about this too. We do want to have lead time. We do want to make sure that we've got, let's say 6 or 8 weeks, and we have, some good chance of them not being busy that day. Even if we sell it one-on-one, it's like, oh, so your VIP day is going to be in 8 weeks from now. Like, yay, great. They sign up. They're excited. What do you do between the time they buy it and possibly up to 2 months later when the VIP day is there? Are we emailing them? Do we keep them warm every couple of weeks? I mean, how do we, it's like, dude, I just gave you 15 grand and I realize we have the date and the time and all of that, but you're not talking to me for 8 weeks, or how does that work?
So how that works is usually it's not more than, I would say, 2 months out.
Yeah, 2 months.
So, but even then that can be a little ways out. Well, we already scheduled the intention setting call, which I know is still within that week closer to it. We send an email out right away of you are in for your VIP day. It's a welcome email that has all the details. They have my assistant's information for any communication or questions. I become really close to my VIP day clients. So I also say, hey, and if you need to reach me for anything, I'm totally cool with it. I haven't had the experience of people abusing either boxering me or texting me even. And so I stay in touch with them. And the other thing too is that I also include either 1 or 2 private coaching sessions that they can use after their VIP day within 60 days. But if somebody plans it further, I had one client who booked one of the Hawaii ones. It was a couple months out. I said, hey, I know you've got some things you're working on right now. So if you'd rather use one of them or both of them leading up to your VIP day, that's fine too.
Very nice. So a little flexibility and humanity. A little humanity is good in all of this.
Exactly.
So good.
And they're planning travel. So it does help to have that welcome email. And then if they're coming to Seattle to my home, then I don't include travel or accommodations when they come here, but I can provide suggestions. So if they want to stay somewhere really bougie, then I could say, well, there's some really high-end hotels in downtown Seattle. It's about 25 minutes from where I live. I'm north of Seattle. And then there's a Courtyard Marriott 10 minutes from me, or there's Airbnb. So I just tell them, hey, if you want my team or myself to send you some links to some places. So there's a natural time to connect with them, even saying, hey, just want to make sure you get your airfare. Are you good? And it's all good. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Well, as we're wrapping up here, I've got 2 final questions for you. The final question is, where can we send people to get connected to you? Downloads, gifts, goodies, all that jazz. The second to last question is, if folks were to take one central idea from our conversation today about VIP days, what would you want them to have as that big concept, big picture takeaway?
Okay. Big picture takeaway. Just make a decision if you're going to do them. If you really want to start offering VIP days, it's not something where you need to plan. For example, when I created my Hawaii VIP experience, I was on an airplane and I simply typed it out. What would be a dreamy VIP experience? And I just typed it out. I didn't spend hours and hours, even though I had hours in play and I probably watched a movie. But just decide if you're going to do it. And if you do it, offer it within the next week or two. Create the package, put it out there, because you will get feedback as you take action. So decide and take action. That's just it.
You also have clients like me where it's like, oh, within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours,
clients that sold 3 of them in the first week. And it was just a huge light bulb, instant revenue stream.
Instant revenue stream. If you're someone who wants to create a cash injection, a revenue boost, one of my colleagues in a mastermind, she's like, you know what, Amy, I want to do this because I've been making a lot of money this year, but I've got a big tax bill coming up that I'm not prepared for. So having this cash, I'm like, girl, you need to do this. Here you go. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Here are the steps. And she sold one within not a day, but in about 48 hours. And so that's the thing, is that it can be that simple if you follow the steps. And that's why even within my VIP day system, I have this one segment that's called Overnight Success. It's for the uber confident, uber engaged with your audience entrepreneur who's like, you know what? Like, I know that my audience wants to spend time with me, that I believe that when I put this out there, there will be interest in it. Then I have this Overnight Success challenge and say, okay, you don't have to watch the other mini trainings. They're really short. In the VIP day system, I keep it so lean because my ideal client for the VIP day system is established. They don't have time to go through hour-long videos. So the longest video is 10 minutes. They're just quick trainings. And then it's all the swipe files and just the steps you need. It's so lean. It is so lean. So it's been fun to see those who decide to take on the Overnight Success Challenge. And even if they sell it in 72 hours, boo-hoo. Like,
right.
Just generated, $20,000. And I'm like, and you're welcome.
And you're welcome. I love it. Well, Amy, how can people get connected and stay connected to more Amy Yamada brilliance, downloads, cheat sheet, website, resources, places to go if they want to check out the VIP day system? And all of these, by the way, will be directly under this episode in the links, in the show notes. Where can we send people? What can we leave them with?
I love it. So let's just hook them up. So first of all, I do have a VIP day cheat sheet. So the simple downloadable PDF to just check the list. So if you're really serious about selling one within the next day or 7 days, or at least like at the longest within the next month, I think anyone who is a go-getter, established, has an audience, we've got an existing audience, like let's go, let's make it happen. So there's the VIP Day cheat sheet that I'm giving you. There's also a link that's called connectwithamy.com. So it has all the different ways that you can connect with me. And I also have a couple of team members that are very well versed in the VIP Day system and bouncing ideas. So if you wanted to book a one-on-one 30-minute call, you can do that as well. And of course, if anyone's interested in the VIP Day system itself, we can provide that link too. If somebody's really ready, I know that sometimes you might want to get to know me better and maybe follow me or connect with me in another way. That's totally fine. But I don't know about you, but there's been times when I myself have been introduced to an expert in something, especially if it's introduced to me by a trusted individual. I'm like, you know what? I do want that thing. And even if it's just for the swipe files, there's been times when I've invested in something because I thought, you know what? This is the expert on this. And I'm really good if I just have examples and swipe files and templates. So I can just go do the thing like that. So if anyone wants that, we can also provide that as well.
And I'm going to go out on a limb, which is not really going out on a limb because you have a ton of success stories, including me. This is your key to an additional 10 or 20K per month for the rest of your professional career. Now, if you don't want that, then you're not ready. You're not ready. You're not worthy. Don't go check out Amy's VIP Day system because it's not for you. If you are ready for your next incremental 10K to 20K per month, I would recommend you check it out. I really would. It's worked for so many of your clients. And the thing is amazing, most of what any good coach teaches will work. Your stuff works fast. I mean, it is crazy fast. Almost all of your success stories are, like me, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, first week. Oh, it took me 14 days to sell my first 2 10K packages. I mean, if you are established, if you have a list, if you have a little bit of a track record, I can almost guarantee you there are people in your audience and in your world who are waiting for you to offer something like this.
Yeah.
So they can't buy it if you don't build it.
Exactly. And literally, I've had people like you, David, or my friend Latasha, or my client Tracy, who just took literally an evening and got the system, and they created their confidence card. They used my email swipe file to send an email to. Sometimes they haven't even used all the components of the system. I always think of my friend and client Tracy, who all she wanted to do was send an email to her list. She didn't even create the package. She's like, in my head, I know what the package looks like. I'm like, all right, girl, you do you. And so she used the swipe file, wrote her own version of the email, sent it to her list, got a response. And then she said, I also don't want to get on any sales calls. I'm like, oh my gosh, as a fitness queen, you're so lazy. So I said, okay, do this. I shared with her, here's the voice note I want you to record and send to the people who are interested. And then the VIP Day system is the script. Even though I'm not a scripty person, everyone always asks for an example, a framework, a script of a voice note that you can send. She did that. She was another 24-hour success. So it really can be that simple. The people who are the most confident do it the fastest. They have just enough that edge, like, okay, I'm going to put this out there. Others might need a little bit of fire underneath them. And with the VIP Day system, we have some open Q&A calls. I'm here to fire you up. Like, let's go, let's do it. So
I love it.
Make sure you have exactly what you need to get it going. And I just wanted to make it available for more people at a lower, like most of my packages are 10,000 plus in my world, but the VIP Day system is significantly less because I want more people to have this ability to create this revenue boost, this funding for a family vacation or funding for your next coach or team member. I want people to have this way to do it and do it quickly. And it's the most fun, easy, and quick way to generate that. And I did 2 in 24 hours once, and it was a fun stretch. And I just thought, I'm just going to do it. Why not?
Right. Totally amazing. Really, really great. Well, Amy, thank you so much for being with us. This has been tremendously valuable. Again, all the links under this episode at thesellingshow.com. Amy, you're just a rock star, and I appreciate you so much.
Likewise. Thank you for having me. It's been so much fun.
And that wraps up another episode of The Selling Show. Hey, tell you what, if you like us, rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts, subscribe, tell a friend, go grab the notes and downloads and extras at thesellingshow.com. See you next time.